This is a SSFA playoff game between the Chicago Bears and the Kansas City Chiefs. This is an SSFA quarterfinal matchup, and I'm probably going to have to disconnect right away if this ball goes into the end zone because of the bug. But let's see what happens. -3, so it might be returnable or may not be deep enough to crash. Let's see what happens. Good. So my 3 yards deep is okay. If it's deeper than that, it could get even worse. Or not getting worse, but it'll definitely disconnect. So anyway, Chicago finished the season at 10-5, and they played KC. They lost 14-10 in the first matchup. Carl Antonio Brown on first down and 10 at 25. Single cover, 3-man end zone, and that's a 17-yard pickup on Brown's card. He's one of the elite wide receivers that has double-teamed catches in this set, although 6 would not have been complete double teamed by the free safety. So we are underway. The Chiefs finished 11-5, so 1 game better. I'll tackle right to Matt Breida, guess wrong, nobody's in the zone. Offensive onside tackle 8 or 3, +8 or +3, and Ryan Ramczyk is 1 number short, white die 6. He is a run blocker 5, so did not make the block. He gets the lesser amount. Matt Breida has Tommy Bohannon in front of him as his fullback. He's a 4-7, good pass blocker. Eric Ebron is the tight end. Pierre Garçon and Antonio Brown are the receivers. Inside run to Breida, guessed wrong. Nobody's in the zone. It's a 5 rated nose tackle, but it goes +1 on the halfback card. So 3rd and 6 now, first quarter. The game's just underway. First drive of the game, 1 first down, and we have a 3rd down here for the Bears. Chris Thompson checks into the game. Eric Ebron leaves. He goes 4 wide with 1 halfback. Mike Wallace and Keenan Cole replace Tommy Bohannon and Eric Ebron in this formation. And of course, Thompson in for Breida. 3-3-5 showing blitz. Thompson is a 0 pass blocker. The rest of the line goes 6-5, 4-5, 6-7, 4-5, 5-5. So all 5s and 7s. Sideline right to Keenan Cole with a heavy blitz coming. And it's going to be exactly what he needed. 6 yards. He reaches out, stretches it out, and gets the first down. Chandler Jones came in on that play as the sack contest, 11 against Chris Thompson, 0. And there was a 40% chance of a sack, which is the max you can get on a flat pass, but the random was 87. So 1st and 10 into Chiefs territory. Back to the blocking back halfback side. I'll tackle right again. Guessed wrong. Nobody's in the zone. Blocking back +5 or +7, and the white die was a 6. Bohannon's a 4, so that goes with the lesser yardage, which is 5 yards. But 2nd and 5. Mike Gillisley checks into the game. Somebody you use on these situations without wasting carries on your premium back. See if that tips off Dan or if he is still looking to call pass. Dan's defense here, inside around to Gillisley, guessed wrong, nobody's in the zone. Nose tackle's a 5 though, +1 or +12. It was against him, and he made the play. So that'll bring up 3rd and 4. As I was saying, Dan runs a 3-4 defense. He's got a 5 rated nose tackle. That's K1 short. So he's actually got a little bit of a pass rush. He's normally a 6'8", reduced to a 5'8" in this formation. Jason Pierre-Paul is a 5'9" defensive end. Carl Davis is a 5'1" defensive end, but you saw him bring in, and he brings him in here, Yannick Ngakoue, a 0-12-1 pass rusher. Elijah Penny's in the game. It's a flare right to Sean McGrath, who's the tight end that came into the situation, or the blocking back. He's a better blocker. And he only picks up 2 guessed wrong. You see why he sticks with Bohannon, who's not as good of a run blocker, but he's a better pass receiver. That's going to bring up 4th and 2, and we have our first decision of the game. I think you go for it here. You're going to punt. You're going to gain 20 yards. So he goes back to Breida. McGrath stays in the game. Breida guessed right, can make those 2 yards. Oh, actually, he's not that great guessed right. So I think you're going to see a pass here, unless he's showing him that. Maybe he's going to run a sneak. Get him to call pass so he can sneak it with Stafford, who's good all the way 2 through 8. No, it's an inside run to Breida. It is guessed wrong, and it's on the D card, +5. Even with 2 men in the zone, it would have been first down. So I guess he wasn't worried about it landing on the halfbacks card that time, figuring he would call pass after going short yardage on the previous play. First and 10 to 35. Screen left to Breida. There's 2 men in the zone. Short gain, though. Those are killer. You have the zone plugged, but it lands on the quarterback's card in a good spot. And if it happened to land on that spot on the D card, that would have been an interception. Stafford starting off red hot, 4 for 4 for 44 yards. So 4's a while. Matt Breida is back in the backfield. Dan says, got my 3 rule, but not on the right card. The white die needed to be 4, 5, or 6 for that to be a pick. First and 10 to 16. 3-4 showing blitz. Dan uses Chandler Jones to great efficacy. He's got Connor Barwin on the other side. So he's got an 8, 12. Screen left to Breida. There's a 5 there. Linebacker in zone X or short gain, and that's incomplete as Manti Te'o makes a play. He slid out from his inside linebacker position. So the way Dan positioned his defense, he's got the 5 there to cover for Chandler Jones, kind of like what they do in the NFL, where Jones is really on the line, rushing the passer almost every play, even though he's listed as an outside linebacker. Because in most NFL situations, you're rushing 4 on neutral situations. Crossing pattern to Garcon, double covered by the free safety, but it's a dump off that's incomplete on Stafford's interceptions. 48% chance of a sack that time, thanks to the double team and the extra pass rush. Boosted up Barwin's number to 9 from 7. Chris Thompson's in the game. That's going to tempt Dan to show blitz, I think. He's got a 0 pass block rating. I'm going to turn on the pass rush matchup this time, just so we can see. Oh, he's not showing blitz. So we'll see what happens. Dan looking to protect the flats. Button hook to Thompson being double covered. Not only did he protect him, but if it lands in the right spot, he could pick this off. Incomplete on the receiver reading. Even guessed right, that wouldn't have been much use to Lawrence. So he'll set up for a field goal, but still a strong opening drive. Ate up almost half of the first quarter. And the kick is good. Phew. 10, 11, and 12 were no good. So points are on the board. Chicago draws first blood. And this is going 9 yards deep, so I'm going to exit out, get back in again. I gotta pay attention to that. Oh, let me announce the broadcast. Looking take here. Put this out here. Control C. We'll put it on the form. First and 10 to 25. Three-yard gain on that first run. Eddie Goldman's a 4. We'll set up the matchup in a second. So here we go. C.J. Anderson's in the game. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. Josh Gordon and Amari Cooper are the receivers. Inside run draw to C.J. Anderson. And that's going to pick up 9 yards and a first down. The big boy, C.J. Anderson, who showed up for the Rams in the NFL last year in the latter part of the year in the playoffs, is doing a job so far in the playoffs for the Chiefs. CJ's got an okay card, nothing glamorous. So you get a lot of pass calls against him and just run him guess wrong. Marcedes Lewis checks in the game as a tight end. He's a 6 blocker. Pitch out right to Anderson, going right behind Mercedes. Only picks up 2, though. Guessed wrong. The free safety was doubling Josh Gordon. So Cameron Brate is a tight end typically. He'll bring in Mercedes Lewis for some extra blocking. When he goes 2 tight end set, Mercedes is the second tight end. Or no, I'm sorry. He's the first tight end because he can play Brate as a blocking back. So a nice move there. So he'll always have Lewis in the game, unless it's a 3 wide with only 1 tight end. Pitch out right to Anderson, still trying to get him guessed wrong running. Defensive end -2 or +3. And the Bears have Daquan Jones out there as a 5, and he stuffs that play. Tackle for loss. 3rd and 10. Rodgers has a good card, but he's not your typical dominant top 5 quarterback in this set. He was injured quite a bit last year, and some of his stats weren't as great as they usually are because he was playing injured and without a lot of help. Wayne Gallman checks into the game. Oh, no, sorry, it's Jared McKinnon now. It's going to be the halfback on 3rd downs. He's not in the shotgun or the pistol, so go Rodgers' card. He's decent. He's got some good must runs. Randall Cobb's in there as a 3rd wideout. So out goes Mercedes Lewis, in comes Brate, better pass receiver. He could even go with Brate in the backfield in a fullback 3 wide set. McKinnon's a good pass catcher, though. Crossing pattern to Cooper, single covered by a 6. Middle linebacker double covering the tight end, while the free safety's over on Josh Gordon. But we still have our pass rush chart up, but there's no D-die, and it's incomplete on 3rd down, and here comes the punt. So Rodgers' first pass of the day falls incomplete. Cooper is going to have a much better card next year. 4th and 10, out comes Drew Kaiser. 49-yard punt. Looks like we got somebody joining us in the broadcast. Howdy, howdy. Make sure to mute your microphone. What's up, Jay? Okay, 1st and 10. 3-0 Bears. Inside run to Breida. Guest run will men. Nobody there.
No, I mean, him and my thing.
You might present mine to everyone.
And,
I'm going to mute you, Jay. Tell me if you want to unmute. Chat, Slack me or something. Yeah. All right, 2nd and 9. 3-0 Bears. They got the ball back after Kansas City went 3 and out, I believe. Possession, yep. So, not 3 and out. They did get 1 first down, but they had to punt on their second after that. Oh, there's a sack. A slant to Eric Ebron, who's being double covered. So here comes Chandler Jones in the sack parade. 80% chance of a sack, random 52. And that was Chandler coming by himself along, in the 3-4. Lauren switches to a 3-3-5 here on 3rd and 17. So despite not picking up more than 1 first down, he shifted the field, Dan has, by getting that sack and getting a good punt by Mr. Kaiser. Crossing pattern to Keelan Cole being double covered, but it's a dump off of 15 yards. That's going to bring up 4th and 2. And with the lead against the higher seed, you're not going to chance it. You're going to punt it away. So here's Chandler Jones kicking it. I'm not Chandler Jones, Chris Jones. Chris Jones is the punter. Chandler Jones is the sacker. 39-yard punt. And it's down to the 39 with a 20-yard return there. So the Chiefs right away get a boost to their offense by getting a nice return on a short punt. Pharaoh Cooper is probably one of the best punt returners in this set. So, Jay, you let me know if you want to be like the color commentator on here. I muted you because I don't think you could realize that I could hear your microphone. I could hear you talking, which I don't mind, but you got to let me know. Quick slant to break being double covered by inside linebacker. So it's going to matter. Oh, no, it's by the free safety. It is going to matter. Wait a minute. Huh. He brought the free safety down to the middle and used the 2 linebackers to double cover. That's an interesting strategy. It's going to be a 3-yard pickup. I think you're, I don't know what you get by doing that, because you lose one of the double teams is no longer a true double. So Kansas City picks up 3. 2nd and 7 out to the 38. Broadcast is looking good. Slant to break. Single cover by a 4. And it's a dump off for 20 yards. So suddenly, just like that, oh, sorry, that 20-yard dump off turned into an 11-yard dump off because it went to Wayne Gallman, whose longest reception is 11 yards. But regardless, Kansas City is at least in field goal range. And Rodgers, after going 0 for 1 on the first drive, is now 2 for 2 on this drive. That was a 0% sack chance. Trey Flowers 5 pass rush against Teron Armstead 7. Pitch out left to Coleman. It's guessed correctly with a short yardage defense, which meant a man was in the zone. Guessed right run for 3 yards. Could have been a loss of 8 in the best case scenario for Lawrence. 2nd and 7. 3-4, not showing blitz. So Lawrence had a lot of holes on his defense. He's got 4s and 0s. Screen left to Coleman, guessed wrong. And he'll pick up 8, even though his longest is 11. Guessed wrong, he's got a decent card for the type of pass catcher he is. 1st and 10 to 16. Lawrence twice goes short yardage defense on this drive, knowing that Gallman has a good guessed wrong running card. Button hook to Gallman. Guessed right. There's one man there. He doesn't 0, though. That's a 3-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 7. I think we've seen 3 2nd and 7s on this drive already. Rodgers 4 for 5 now. 4 completions in a row. He's getting into a rhythm. I have not watched the earlier game between the Chargers inside run to Gallman. Guessed wrong. Nobody's there. 4 nose tackle. That's going to be a 5-yard pickup thanks to the left guard making the block. Josh Sittons is 6. The earlier game tonight was between. Let's see if we can. I don't know if I want to give a spoiler here. Maybe I shouldn't even look, because if you're watching this live and you haven't watched the other one, I won't mention the score. But the winner of this game is going to face the winner of that game. Let's take a quick look at the playoff file so I can remember the matchup. I don't know why I can't even blank. Chargers and who? Chargers and Vikings. They're right against the defending champion, Tony. So 3rd and 2. Pitch out left to Jerick McKinnon. Nobody's there, but it's guessed right as the Lawrence goes run call. But it's going to be into the end zone. Offensive onside in +9 or +4. And Josh Gordon, boosted by the full house formation, goes from a 0 to a 4, and he makes the block. The kick is up and good. So 7-3 Chiefs, taking advantage of that short field after the 20-yard punt return by Cooper. Let's get ready to exit out of here, depending on where this goes. Three-yard deep. That's okay. That won't crash it. 8 or 9 is the ones that crash it. At least that's the theory I'm going on. Nope. Wrong. It didn't crash last time because he took it out. But I guess if you sit on it 3 yards deep, that's bad news still. So back in the game. Hopefully we didn't miss a play. No, it looks like we're good. 1st and 10 to 25. Fly to Antonio Brown. Guessed right, single covered, but nobody's in the zone. And it's an interception split. Even with one man in the zone, that would not have been a pick. It was a 1X, so I'm not sure if he was showing blitz or not. Chicago trying to get their offense going. They bring in Corey Clement. So they don't really have much support on the ground. Clement must be first half only. They got a good passing game, a couple of good targets. 3-4 showing blitz, crossing Benedict Garcon. Here comes the heat. But the offensive line holds up this time. It's a 14-yard pickup. That was Manti Te'o 0 as the high linebacker against TJ Lang's 5. So he kept Chandler Jones home that time, not wanting to give a guess wrong receiver reading to Clement. Pretty good receiver if he would have been out of position. 3-4, not showing blitz. It's a run call, button hook to Clement. There's a 4 there. And it hits a blank on Stafford's card. Good result for Dan. Unlucky for Lawrence. Breida comes into the game. Breida has 9 unfatigued carries left. So he's good. And he can run unlimited in either half. But you still have to kind of be careful with his carries because he'll run out pretty quick. Fly to Brown. Not showing blitz, but there's 2 guys coming. And one of those guys, Connor Barwin, brings him down. It was the sack test was really the defensive end, Jason Pierre-Paul against Taylor Lewan, 61% chance of a sack, and the sack was reassigned to Mr. Barwin, which is convenient because he was coming on a pass rush. So 3rd and 19, Dan's executing his defense exactly the way he wants. Stafford's strength is a short pass card, so you can't blame Lawrence for trying to hit that. But if the D's come up, it's going to be a long night. Screen left to Thompson. Nobody's there. It'll be a 7-yard pickup. It was a 1X. I'm not sure if there's anybody in the deep zone. I should have paid closer attention, but could have been a receiver reading. 49-yard punt here. So the Bears defense needs to buckle down. They'll get a good roll, and the Chiefs will start at the 9. First and 10. Chiefs ball. Here comes C.J. Anderson. Off tackle right to Anderson. Guess right. It's a 2-yard loss. Back to the 7. Second and 12. We got a 3-wide formation with Gallman in the backfield. 3-3-5 showing blitz for Lawrence. Gallman's a decent pass blocker. I wonder if you might see a run here. It is an inside draw to Gallman. Guess wrong, nobody there. But it's a right guard +7 or +2, and he does not make the block since he's reduced from a 4 to a 0. Even in a normal situation, it wouldn't have worked because the white die was a 5. So 3rd and 10 at the 9. Let's see if Lawrence shows blitz. 3-3-5 showing blitz. 3rd and 10. Cobb's in the game. Interestingly, Mercedes Lewis stays in the game, thinking maybe he'll run him here. Trying to go in run against his 0 defensive end and behind Lewis, who will be reduced to a 5, but that still can make some blocks. Nope. Crossing pattern to Cooper. 4 men in the zone. Defender X or +13, and he's a 6, so that's going to be incomplete. So white die 5, so He could have completed it to one of the targets covered by a 4. Instead, he'll punch it, and let's see if Lawrence can get a good punt return to get good field position, just like Dan did on his touchdown drive. It's a 49-yard punt, and it will be fielded, but it's fair caught. It's still good field position at their own 42. Chiefs in front in this quarterfinal playoff game. 3 left to Breida. It's going to be a 5-yard pickup. Guessed wrong. 2nd and 5. Stafford 8-13 so far. That was a 1X. Clement checks into the game. $9:54 to go in the half. Off tackle left to Clement. There's a man there. Guessed wrong. No sackle. -1 or +3. So K1 Short makes the play. Yeah, that'd be a great idea. So 3rd and 6 here. Third and 6. It'll go up quick like this. So 4-yard pickup on that play. Flat pass right. And at midfield, facing a 4th and 2. Let's see what Lawrence does. Is it time to go for it? I don't think so. I think you can find here. Pin him again. Try it once more. But what do I know? I was wrong. He's going to go for it. The thing is, Breida's guest strike card is not that great. So you kind of, if you guess him right, that play is stopped. I might go Clement here. Three, 4, not showing blitz. This is a tough spot. Look for Dan to flood the flats. Pivotal play here. Button hook to Breida. Perfect for Lawrence. That's exactly what he wanted. Tries to key him. But it hit a blank. The unlucky 7. Unlucky 7. Maybe that's not the catchiest term, but that's exactly what that was. Just about any other result. Well, he's not maxed as a receiver, but most of the other results would have been good for the offense. Dan says, great call. Lawrence says, thank you. Lawrence wishing he would have thrown it to his tight end now or one of the other receivers. So the Chiefs take advantage of that break, or can they take advantage of that break? They take over at midfield. They have men in zone just to make sure in case they went on a D card, the blockers couldn't help. Pitch out left to Coleman. Guess wrong. Nobody there. Blocking back +5 or -1. And it was a white dice 6. So even if he had been in the blocking back halfback formation, Brate would not have made the block. Blocking back's different than the offensive onside end. Like Mercedes Lewis would have counted as a second tight end for that test. But the blocking back is a specific position. 2nd and 11. Lawrence needs to weather this storm. Gallman off to a shaky start. 4 runs for 9 yards. So he's got 4s on Brate, Lewis, Gordon, and the halfback. A lot of places to throw. And he goes for a post against one of those 4s to Mercedes Lewis. Defender X or long gain, and one of those fours is going to make the play. Michael Kendricks swats the ball away as it's floating down on a nice Aaron Rodgers spiral, but he gets there to break it up. Nice athletic play by Mr. Kendricks. Lauren says nice. Dan says bummer. So 3rd and 11. McKinnon checks in. Lewis has a decent card. Brait is obviously pretty good too, but that's a lot of yardage on Lewis's card. So maybe Brait isn't the obvious choice for receiving tight end. He may have less hits, but the yardage for Lewis is better. 3-3-5, not showing blitz. 4-4. So you have a 4 for contain here, 5 for contain here, and a 6 for contain here. He decides to run it. Bomb to Mark Cooper, guarded by a 6. Nobody's in the zone, and it's incomplete. Would have been a hit on a 9. 9-3 guy. 4th and 11. So Lawrence survives the risky chance to go for it, but he might get pinned here. Here comes the punt. Hopefully not too deep because the bugs in this game makes it crash on a punt as well. 7:12 to go in the half. 51-yard punt. That's going to take it down to the goal line. And are we going to crash? Going to let it bounce, obviously. Yep, it's going to crash. That's crazy, man. Yeah, they better fix it in this next version. First down run, offensive onside guard +5 or +0. TJ Lane can't make the play, and Gillisley goes nowhere. So Lawrence may be the reason why he went for it too, because he doesn't have a lot of dangerous carries. So he's going to be, his offensive drive chances might be limited. And if you're at midfield, 4th and short, I can see the logic in going for that. Off tackle right to Breida. There's a man there, just right. And the bailout 10 rule. On an off tackle, it's not so bad. If there's nobody there, you would have got at least 5 yards. But instead, you get just one, or stuff for -1, excuse me. So now it's 3rd and 11. Thompson in the game. That's Thompson in the game. He's a great receiver. But that's just leaving yourself open to that free safety blitz. If you get those chances, let's look at the pass rate matchup. See if we can see this before they snap it. So you got 58, 42, 32, 55, 54, 51, and 44. It's cross competitive Wallace, 44% chance of a sack. And it's a dump off for 7 yards. 4th and 4, and Lawrence will punt. That's Ngakwe. That could have been even worse because that was Ngakwe's asterisk rating, the defensive end instead of the free safety. It still wouldn't have been a sack because it was a white die. The random was 92. But the free safety is a 10 base. Boosted up with some extra linebacker help. It would have been like a 12 maybe 14. So 1st and 10. I need to go run and do something real quick. I'll be right back after this play, which is pitch out right to Gallman. Guess strong. Nobody there. Offensive onside in +9 or +4. And there's Mercedes making that block. I'll be right back. So we saw a sneak there. Guessed right by Rogers, but she went nowhere. So it's 3rd and 1. Chiefs at their own 44. Fly to Josh Gordon, being double covered. It's a dump off for 4 yards and a first down. So it looks like I didn't miss too much. First and 10. Chiefs. Dan says we played too much. Nice call. And they exchange the left. So Dan knew, or Lawrence knew Dan was going to take a shot. Gordon's covered by a 4. Tried to go up top, but Lawrence anticipated that with a double. Rogers is kind of a slow start, but he's got the lead. Only 3 minutes left in the half. Rogers 5 and 9 for 29 yards, and the Chiefs get the ball first. Quick out right to Lewis. Nobody's there as everybody's coming. Guessed right for 6 yards. Tries to get out of bounds, but can't. 2nd and 4, down to the Bears 46. When you got all those 4s on defense, there's a lot of ways that your opponent can hurt you, so you got to be careful. Quick out right. He's got it full this time, but it goes on the quarterback's card again. 6 more yards. Doesn't try to get out of bounds. Down to the 40. We're at the 2-minute warning. Both teams have all their timeouts. Brait is in the backfield as a blocking back with Coleman as the halfback. 4s and 0s at linebacker for Lawrence. Pitch out right to Gallman. Guess wrong. Nobody there. 12 yards. Nobody's in the zone. And it gets out of bounds. 28-yard line now. Gallman, 6 runs for 30 yards. Anderson, C.J. Anderson's in the game. Fly to Josh Gordon. Single covered. Nobody there. Incomplete. It hit a receiver reading, but it didn't fall on a good number. Gordon's card's maxed out. Deep, anyway. 2nd and 10. A lot of pass calls here. Look for Dan to run it, maybe. Nope, it's a button hook to CJ. Short gain on Rogers' card down to the 14-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. And Rogers is heating up, 8 of 13 so far. Dan's keeping it simple. Runs, flats, and the occasional bomb. Figuring he's going to beat those 4s for a big play at some point tonight. Pitch out right to Gallman. He's got it plugged this time. Instead of a 12-yard gain, which would have taken it down to the 2, you go short yardage defense, which means it's a 2-yard loss. And the Chiefs use their first time out of the half. 2nd and 12. Gallman's got a relatively high fumble number, but the modern backs don't fumble that much. It's still only a 4% chance. That's guessed right. Guessed wrong, 22% chance. Like a 20-something, I think. 2nd and 12. 3-4 not showing blitz. Keeping it simple. Pitch out right to Gallman. So it's again, it's a run to a spot that's not occupied, but this time it's defensive end -2 at +3, and Daquan Jones makes the stop. Tackle for loss for the big man. 3rd and 14. 1 minute to go as the Chiefs take their second time out of the half. Gordon's one of those receivers that can, and Cooper for that matter, both of them can get you 14 yards on the receiver card. Cooper has all spots get 14 or more except for 8. Gordon, all of his spots get 14 or more. Cobb, probably not. Great probably does have those yards. Crossing pattern to Cooper. It's being double covered and it's picked off. Plus 13 on the straight pick. Lawrence, does he try to return it? No. Decides to keep it. Great call, says Dan. Well, it says no here, but this is part of the bug too, because obviously he was at the 18-yard line and he threw it 13 yards. He got it returned up here, so it must have been like a 12-yard return. Let's take a look at the. Let's look at the Bears. I think it's going to be the same, but the special interception return. So it would have been plus 10 or plus 15, plus 10. Yeah, so it would have been 9 on the interception return. First and 10, 52 seconds left. He goes deep to Thompson. There's a blitz coming, and down goes Stafford. Malcolm Jenkins grabs him, throws him to the ground. It was an automatic sack because the test was the free safety or the asterisk pass rusher against the back. And since Thompson was involved in the play, there was nobody to block there. Chiefs have no timeouts. You'll see Stafford take a couple knees here. He wanted to try to bang him with a big play. And he got sacked. So it happens. Oh, he's going to throw it. Square out left to Brown. Thought he'd just take a knee. And he's going to lose 4 yards. It's a safety. He should have just taken a knee. Oh, my stars and garters. So Dan gets almost the equivalent of a field goal there just by standing around. And Lawrence, that's a mistake, but you got to take a knee there. No reason to throw it there. I mean, you might get a white die 6 in a big play, but chances are not very good for that. So the Chiefs will get the ball back one last time. They'll probably just take a knee. The good news is that doesn't put the Bears down by more than a single score. They still trail by 6. It's a good defensive battle. And Rodgers takes a knee. So here we are at halftime. Let's see if they're going to get right into it or if they'll take a little bit of a break. So the game in the regular season was 14-10 Chiefs. This one's shaping up in kind of the same way. Sneak would have been fine, but you would have been better off just taking a knee. Your opponent has no timeouts. There's less than a minute 30 left on second down. You can just take 2 knees. 3 yards deep. Is he going to take it out? Are we going to crash? He takes it out. Just for the good of the broadcast, he takes it out. So out to the 26. Ed, keep track of this stuff in the play testing. Make sure that these 3-yard kicks, the punts deep in the end zone, make sure all that stuff's fixed in this new version. Please. First and 10. Chiefs take over. So the Bears really need to stop here. I'll tackle right to Anderson. The man in the zone gets wrong. So you 1-yard gain. There's a chat here, but I don't think we're got much. Oh, there is a little bit going on. Sorry, I thought I was muted. You are muted now. Bless you, says Anthony. Oh, maybe one of the kids were sneezing or something. It's possible. 2nd and 9 after that 1-yard pickup. So I've got the chat up now. I'll keep an eye on it every once in a while. Pitch out right to Anderson. Guessed wrong, short gain, and the Chiefs move the ball out to the 44-yard line. Dan taking advantage of all the pass calls, but you understand why Lawrence is calling pass because he's got 4s and 0s on these guys, mostly 4s. Yeah, I guess there's no 0s. 0s are on the middle linebackers. So he's got 4s covering 4 of the targets. One bad roll, defender X, especially against a run call, and you're in trouble. First and 10. Out to the 44. Inside run to Gallman. 3 wide sets, the 1 wide die could be in play, and it does come into play. So 5 anyway. It would have been no gain, guessed wrong, -1, guessed right. Second and 11. He stays 3 wide. Goldman's a 4 nose tackle. Elvis Jimerville's a 0-10 defensive end. And Mario Addison is a 0-12-1 asterisk defensive end. If he's in his 3-4, I think he's got that big 5 in there. Pitch out right to Goldman. And that's going to be guessed right. White die 1 again for only 5-yard gain. Would have been 5 right or wrong. So Dan's spreading him out, knowing that if he gets a defensive end reading, those guys in there in the 3-3-5 are going to fail. 3rd and 6. Big play here. Lawrence took away at least 3 points from Dan on that pick. Then he gave 2 points back on the safety. Interesting. We got a blocking back halfback set with McKinnon, which makes you think he might be thinking about running it. Lawrence responds with a 3-4. I would have said with a 3-3-5, but he's going to run it. It's going to be behind Josh Sitton and Terran Armstead on this side. Down and out to McKinnon. Single cover. There's 3 men in the zone. And it's a must run. 14 yards for A-Rod. That's a stupid nickname. Forget I said that. It's Aaron Rodgers. You can't use somebody else's nickname, even if it is cross sports. So 1st and 10, down to the 14, or to the 38 after that 14-yard scamper. It was 3rd and 6, so 2 through 9 on the must run was the first down. Slant to Mercedes Lewis, 4 minutes zone, but it's guessed wrong, and it's incomplete. So we just saw a must run on Snake Eyes this time. You guessed the play wrong, but you're really right because you got an incomplete. Sometimes you can be wrong and right, and sometimes you can be absolutely right and totally wrong. I think only a Strat player would understand that. 2nd and 10. Slant to Lewis, again 4 minute zone. Guessed wrong, it's going to be a 10-yard pickup. So that time you're wrong and wrong. And even if you were right, you'd be wrong because if you double team that perfectly, it would have been a completion. 9-3 Chiefs as they look to open their lead up to 2-score lead. 10:48 to go in the 3rd quarter. Quick out right to Lewis. Guessed right, incomplete. So usually Rodgers would have a much better flat pass guard because his completion percentage would be better. But, with all the injuries last year, not having much help, he only had, 64%. Still pretty good. Second and 10. Fly to Gordon, single covered, and misses on the receiver reading. 3rd and 10. Now, this was Dan on defense. He'd be showing blitz and at least threatening to bring the heat. Lawrence, he's got good pass rush, too. But he's taking a much greater risk if he does bring the house. And here we got the 3 blocking back halfback against 3-4. Now, I don't, when you're on defense, don't let the offense dictate your formation. Just because he stays base, you can still go 3-3-5. You can use that to double team 2 receivers. Maybe he's going to try to run and hit a short game. You just want to get out of field goal range, knowing how important it is. To slant to Lewis, double covered by a linebacker. Defender extra short game. Perfect double team there. That's going to stop the drive and make him punt. Even without the double team, it would have been incomplete. The Shazer Everett is a 4. The field goal is good on 2 through 7, 11, and 12. Just missed a bad roll on 8, 9, or 10. So 12-3, 9-point lead. Touchback, so we don't have to worry about the crash. Three wide now. Here we go with Lawrence mixing it up on offense. Let's see how Dan responds. Is he going to show blitz and bring the heat when he has a lead, or just play it simple? And, you know, he still likes to bring those linebackers even without showing blitz. Especially Jones. If an asterisk reading comes up, it's just almost as good as a free safety blitz. Square out right to Brown. Guessed right, incomplete. Second and 10. Rod Smith in the game. Rod Smith's in there for one reason. Well, two couple reasons. He can catch a short pass. And then the other reason is just for pass block rig. I'm sure he's unlimited in the second half, but you're not really going to run with him. Screen right to Smith. Single cover. Short gain on the D card. Gets a white die 6. And that may just be the spark that the Bears need to get rumbling to wake up out of their hibernation, if you will. 12-3 Chiefs in front. Gillisley in there. What's his pass blocking? He's a 0. Not a very good receiver either. Square out left to Brown. 6-yard pickup, guessed right on the quarterback's card. Yeah, I'd get Smith in there for his pass blocking, or Chomps in there for his receiving. 3-5. He's got Thompson in there. He goes 4 wide. Pitch out right to Thompson. He's running it with him. In past years, that might be a much safer bet than it is this year, but he hits a short gain for 12 yards. Usually, you know, in the years past, Thompson's had a short gain on 7 or 8. If you hit the white die 1, you're really risky it because he's got a -8 on 6 and a -6 on 5, -3 on 8. So you definitely don't want to run him out of this formation too often. But that's a little bit to keep the defense guessing. Down to the 41, sideline right to Garcon. Bringing the free safety in, and no, he's bringing just 2 linebackers. 40% chance of a sack, and Gakwe against Ramczyk. Second and 10. So he's using this free safety, Malcolm Jenkins, to cover for whatever linebacker he sends. Which can be risky. Keenan Cole's covered by 4. Reed is covered by a 0. Inside run draw, and he calls run. Seeing Breida in the game, he figured, oh, he's going to run it. Nice call, says Lawrence. And that's going to be a 10-yard gain. See, sometimes you can be totally right and wind up incredibly wrong because even though you called run on a draw, it would have been a key on the offensive cards and a maximum number of zone on the defensive cards, except when it calls for a linebacker in zone, because this computer doesn't know what linebacker is going to be there. Could be your free safety, could be somebody else. So it can't assume that, and it leaves it with 0 men in zone. Big pickup there. First and 10. Down to the 31. That's the Bears really needed that. Let me just I explained on the broadcast, Dan. So let me see if do I want to type it out here? More likely, the programming, it doesn't know the rating of the linebacker in the zone because it doesn't see a linebacker in the zone. It definitely makes sense, but you know what I mean? I don't want to get into a big discussion here during the game. So it makes sense because it could be the free safety. It could be the outside linebacker. It could be the inside linebacker. How does the game know whether it's the left linebacker or the middle linebacker or the free safety? So it just has to do what it has to do. Screen left to Thompson, guessed right. So hopefully, Dan, you can listen to this and it might make a little more sense now. You know what I mean? Like if it's an off tackle, 2 minute, the linebacker in zone. Let's look at that Chiefs defensive card again. So that roll was a off tackle, and it was, where is it at? I'm sorry, it was a linebacker. So linebacker in zone on two, left linebacker in zone on a 2 minute zone. Here we got an incomplete pass on a flat pass. So it doesn't know. It doesn't know if you have the free safety there, who's a 6-0, or if you would have put the middle linebacker there, who's a 5-4. How does it know if you're going to put Manti Te'o there, or if you just happen to have, if you would have had Malcolm Jenkins there blitzing? It can't assume which guy you would have put there, so it just doesn't do anything. It's always been that way. Because usually it will give you a draw call. 3rd and 10. TJ Yeldon texts in. So Lawrence has got a plethora of options here. He's a good runner on a line book, maybe. That's what he's thinking. But I don't think he can even run here because he's 49 attempts. Yeldon gets to be 50 to 99. Even on 3rd and 10, 3rd and like 1 to 3rd and 4th and 1 or 2, you can do it. Crossing pattern to Mike Wallace, single covered. 4-minute zone, it's a sack. Here comes that man again. Jason Pierre-Paul against Taylor Lewan. So that's a punch it here. 55% chance of a sack. Those D's are really hampering the Bears' offensive drives, and the coffin corner kick barely gets reduced from 58 to 48. So out there back at the end zone, first and 10 to 20 for the Chiefs. You can really put a damper on this game with touchdown drive here. But there's still a lot of time left, only 5:24 to go in the third quarter. We haven't seen the last of our twists and turns, I bet. Off tackle right to CJ Anderson. Nobody there. Guess wrong. The outside linebackers are double covering the wideouts, and that's a dreaded 5 rule for no gain, 2nd and 10. Credit to these coaches who were able to put together impressive seasons with halfbacks that really don't inspire you to call run too often. Pitch out right to Anderson. Guess wrong, nobody there. 5-yard pickup. That time he first down, he exposed the flats. 2nd down, he covered the flats. 3rd and 5, and again, 3-4. Not your optimum defensive call here. Well, it cuts down on the flat passing, but again, that's probably not Rodgers' aim. He wants to get that short pass, maybe get a must run. 3-3-5, you can increase your double teams. Short pass to break, single coverage, 3-minute zone, and there is another first down. 3-3-5, you double 2 guys, you would have happened to get him. That's an incomplete and a punt. So again, don't let the offense dictate your defensive formation. 1st and 10, 3:36 to go in the third quarter. Pitch out right to Anderson. Guess wrong, but there's a man there this time. And it loses a yard anyway on the offensive card. 2nd and 11. Lawrence is doing a pretty good job on early downs. It's those 3rd downs that are killing him. Let's take a look at the box score. 4 for 9, 44% conversion on 3rd downs. It says he's enjoying the strategy discussion. Hey, thanks, Ed. I should be checking the chat. Nothing going on there, so it looked good there. So 2nd and 11. Bomb to Cooper against the short yardage defense. This is bad. And indeed, and finally, Dan hits a number on the receiver reading wrong for a 26-yard completion. Nice call, says Lawrence. He even guessed right with 1 man in zone. Well, there was a sack chance, though, so I can't say for sure that would have been complete. But barring a sack, actually, Scratch that. Quick out left for Lewis. That picks up 9. When you have a D showing up there, and there would have been a sack chance, I think it's going to be a dump off if it's not a sack because it landed on the D card. That's kind of a little bit of a flaw, I think, because some of these teams with 4s and 0s in their secondary, if the D comes up and it's not a sack, and you want that D card, you want all those long gains. Instead, you get a dump off. Linebacker in zone -1 or +3. That's something that people who are anti-dump off forget about. They're thinking a dump off's always bad. In that case, a dump off could actually be good for your team. 3rd and 2, 12-3, Chiefs in front. Already in field goal range. Gallman in the game. Now, he's not bad, guessed right. It's an inside run to Gallman. There's a man there, but it's guessed wrong. And the left guard, Josh Sitton, makes the block. 5-yard pickup. You love to have those 6s in situations like that. And we're coming close to the end of the 3rd quarter. The Chiefs defense has been locking down the Bears off tackle left to Gallman. Guessed right with the short yardage defense. I don't like the short yardage defense though. There, you're hurting your cornerbacks because and your strong safety. They get a -1 reduction. You're leaving your zero man in zone deep. Well, it's working though. 3-yard stop there with a man in zone. Guessed right, and you leave yourself open to a big play. But it worked out for Lawrence there. He stuffed 2 runs it. If there was no man in zone on that off tackle run, that would have been an 11-yard pickup in the first down. So good move there. 3rd and 6. Quick out right to Lewis. There's 2 men in the zone. Hits a blank on Rogers' card, so it'll be field goal time, which is the best that the Chiefs could hope for. That the Bears could hope for in this spot. I guess even better would have been a missed field goal. But here we go. This is where the rubber hits the road. The Bears need to take this ball and go down and get a touchdown. Make this an exciting finish for us. Here's the kick. See if I have to rush out of here. And I do. 9 yards deep. There's no way he's returning that. So 1st and 10 at the 25. Lawrence goes 4 wide. Matt Breida. They want him to be a cannonball back in Chicago. Inside run to Breida. Nobody there, but white die one's a possibility. And there it is. This is what I'm talking about. That's a horrible guessed right card. Would have been a short gain, guessed wrong, but he was in that formation. Always a danger. 2nd and 10. I do like running against the 3-4 with one back there because you get some juicy stuff in the middle. Check out the Chiefs 0 man in zone. You get 7's a +7, 8's a +9. But you kind of want a halfback that can do a little bit on his own card. Guess wrong and guess right. 4 wide with Thompson. Thompson covered by a 0. Let's see what Dan does. You can always send Chandler Jones and double. Use free safety to take over coverage. Screen right to Thompson. Pulls 2 guys back instead, thinking that it's a desperation time, but it's not quite. Lawrence calls a flat pass, but he's just not getting the rolls on the D card. That would have been a first down. Instead, it's 3rd and 10. Thompson stays in there. If this was further up the field, I think you'd see Dan push the issue with an all-out blitz. He shows blitz, but I'm guessing he's not going to send anybody this time. And he doesn't. Crossing pattern to Keelan Cole. Gets drive 4 minutes zone, and it hits a blank on Stafford's card. And once you know it, I'm guessing Stafford. Let's look at his card real quick. Does he have a long gain on 8 or 9? 34-yard punt, not a very good one. 2-yard return. Let's take a look at old Stafford's card. What is it on a deep pass? Yep, 8 is a long gain. Give some butts and candy and nuts. 15-3. Chiefs got the lead. Chiefs got the ball. Post to Lewis. Single covered. Interception split. But it's a friendly roll for the Chiefs. That could have turned things around in a hurry for Lawrence. See, Rodgers even turns the ball over a little bit in this set. I think he had a year one time where he had his interception split on 12. Not this year, Sonny. Button hook to C.J. Anderson, 0 linebacker there. So linebacker in zone extra short game. And what can you do if you're Lawrence? You got so many holes you're trying to cover up. You can only do a few at a time. 11:24 to go in the game. Button hooked Anderson again against that short yardage defense. Receiver plus 15. Things are looking grim in Chicagoland. Now, even you tighten up here and hold them to a field goal, it's still only a 15-point lead. You can get 2 touchdowns on 2 drives, and you will get the ball at least twice. Fly to Gordon, single covered, and finally he hits on one of his receiver readings. Now, that 15-point lead that I was theoretically talking about is now going to be a 19-point lead, which means you need 3 touchdowns. Assuming McManus nails the extra point. So the Chiefs looks like they're moving on to the semifinals. I think I want to watch that other game. I don't think I want to just look at the score. So you'll find out who they face between the Chargers and Vikings in a little bit. Oh, let me get out. Let me get out. First and 10 to 25. 4 wide. Now it is desperation time. 3-5 showing blitz. So Dan is not taking the hammer off. As a matter of fact, he's bringing the house. And again, 8 is a long gain. Although if he would have gone deep, that might have increased. Might have been a sack. I have to look at the chart. But if it wouldn't have been a sack, that would have been a long gain. I haven't seen too many long passes for Lawrence tonight. With a card like Stafford, I guess he didn't want to go bombs away. Crossing bounded to Garcon. There's a 7 plus 12 first down. The Lions are on the move. There was an 88% chance of a sack on that, but the random roll was a 100. So Lawrence narrowly avoided disaster there. Interesting, with a 3-score lead, Dan's not letting up. Jones and the free safety were both coming on that one. 2nd and 10. Screen left to Thompson. 4-yard pickup. 3rd and 6. That's kind of one of those things you don't really look at. You don't pay attention to the yards on the 7. But man, 4 yards? That hurts because you don't get containment. You don't break containment, I mean. And, a +6 would be so much better. Scoring to Garcon. 13 yards on the defensive card. Dan says, I'm going to keep going with what got me here. Taking chances. Bringing blitzers. Taking names and kicking butt. Fly to Brown. There's the long pass. And it's a long game touchdown. So finally, Dan gets burned on one of those blitzes. And it may be too little too late. He's going to try to go for 2 here to cut it to an 11-point lead. $11 means you can make it a touchdown and a 2-point conversion and a field goal. And there was a 43% chance of a sack on that. So I love that aggressiveness by Dan, but there's a time where you want to just let the game come to you, not force it. And being up 3 scores midway through the fourth quarter might be one of those times. Don't quote me on that. Off tackle the Breida being keyed, not going anywhere. The guy cannot run, guess right. Onside kick attempt, and it's been covered by KC. I don't know if I like that, but I understand it. I think you might want to kick it deep and try to get him to go 3 and out. Save your onside for after you get your second score. Fly to Gordon. Single covered, incomplete. Man, wouldn't that be something if he keeps being aggressive with the deep passes? Lands on 10 on Rogers' card, and it's returned for a touchdown. Then we would have ourselves a game and a fantastic finish. Sideline to Amari Cooper. Defender +2 or +5, and even the 6 reduced by 1 still makes the play. Marcus Peters is a 5. So it's a 2-yard pickup, 3rd and 8. You're going to get your 3 and out here if you play it wisely. Again, why are you staying 3-4? Why? 3rd and 8. Go 3-5 so you can double 2 guys. It's going to get 3 men in zone on an average pass card. Down and out to McKinnon. Is he being double covered? No, he's covering great. And it's a 12-yard pickup. At least he did double 2 guys there. But Rogers, again, with the key 3rd down conversions. Now you can just run it. Just play it safe. Give it to your big boy. Take the field goal. Forget that. He says, I'm going up top. Go big or go home, baby. 47 yards, which turns into a 30-yard touchdown. Dominic Rogers-Cromartie reduced from a 4 to a 0, and it is a touchdown. Extra point is good. It's a 20-point lead, and it's all over but the crying. Fumble. Plus, Joe, don't fumble it. At least let the guy have a shot. Okay, good. The white die was over 4. So here we go. 5:24 to go in the game. A couple more shots. Dan says, "Screw you, Dennis. I'm going on the same way I got here, and that's by burning the house and sacking the shite out of everybody." Bomb to Keelan Cole, and down goes Stafford with a sack by Ryan Ramczyk. Okay, if you put down over 6 in your prop bet today for the Chiefs, I think you're going to win. Screen left to Thompson. 23-yard pickup. Guess wrong. 1st down. Let's take a look at the box score. How many sacks does Casey have today? 5. So you're right on the edge. If you put down 6 or more at the ridiculous 10-1 odds, you're about ready to get paid off. 29-9. Will Casey get one more sack? Fly to Brown, being double covered, and the sack's coming. Or the blitzers are coming. But it's a 1X, I guess. Yep. No sack. All those guys with their tickets from Vegas. Chiefs 6 sacks or more going, come on. Keep sending him. And Dan says, hell yeah, I'm keep sending. Boom, there's the 6th sack. Everybody throws their tickets in the air. Actually, they shouldn't do that. Won't get paid then. Yannick Ngakoue, 15 with all the extra help coming. Dan says, I'm willing to risk it all. No risk it, no biscuit. I'm bringing the house. Of course, now that he got his prop bet paid off, he goes to a 3-2-6. Crossing pattern to Cole. Defender X, incomplete. Punt. Game over, people. Still a good season by Lawrence. Just ran into some tough matchups. And that defense, like Tom's mentioned, putting up 10 wins, double-digit wins with all those 4s and 0s. It ain't easy, people. Lawrence has done it a couple times. 29-9. I'm glad now that safety didn't play a part in this because Lawrence would be kicking himself. 29-9, 3:18 to go. Short yardage defense against some C.J. Anderson runs, and we can all go home. And he's still throwing. Come on now, Dan, just run it out. Let that clock burn. I guess it's not too bad. A flat pass. You can't complain about that. And now he's got just to get it under 2 minutes. Then he can take some knees. I don't think Lawrence is calling timeouts here. Off tackle right. There you go. Maybe one more flat pass to get that first down is good. So Anderson, 11 runs for 33 yards. The star of the day, though, was the pass rush for the Chiefs. The Chefs, great googly moogly. Button hooked Anderson. Oh, man. Could have been an interception there. Still picks up 3. The white die with a 6, and Kendricks, who made a nice play earlier, couldn't make the play here. 36, 2 minutes to go. Looking to run behind Sitton. And I don't know, he goes short to Luke Stalker. 15-yard pickup on a dump off to Lewis. And that's it, folks. Time for some knees and some congratulatory post-game talk. Take a knee here, Dan. Lawrence ain't calling timeout. And he does just that. One more knee and it's over. So congratulations to the Chiefs and Chiefs Kingdom, is that what they call it? Dan has some hashtag going on. Aaron Rodgers moves on to join Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, and whoever quarterback won the Chargers and Vikings game. Game's over. Some congratulatory post-game chatting to come. And I will stop the broadcast, upload my custom avatar, and we'll be good to go. So congratulations to both coaches. Lawrence on a fine season, and Dan on moving on. Let's shut this down. Thanks for watching, everybody.